Morning, guys. So it's Friday, March 14th, 2025 here in Ruston, Rhode Island. I cleaned up the spray gun. I'm not assembling it. I'm just going to set it over here because I am going to do a little more wire brushing on it just to get clean on the outside of it when it's set this up over here. So I got started early on the 36. I'm going to be changing this module out. Comes with this silicone that you put on the back, and that helps to cool these modules. It is basically just a big transistor, and it's got a heat sink that takes away the heat because they do get warm. Ford had a problem with their TFI for a while, and this was in the 90s where they had a problem with the modules getting warm, and they wound up taking them and putting them on a firewall on a big piece of aluminum. Let's get started here. One of those tools I bought back in the 80s, man. It's my extension. It bends, makes it so much easier to get the stuff. Still got to break it loose, you know, with a ratchet, but once it gets loose, you can get around corners and everything. It's funny how the old tools are so. You can see the module, and then there's a heat dam. See the silicone on both sides, actually, where it bolts up to the metal plate. So I'm going to make sure I clean off the old dried stuff and apply a new coat. Cheers. Going on about 2 weeks with no sugar now. So I got it cleaned up, and now want to apply the silicone. We'll get that done. So open the package, and using my putty knife, I have thoroughly applied an even coat on all of the pieces. Oh man, it's amazing how I change the human language sometimes. So that I don't make a big mess, stuff all this in the box. Yeah. Screws were pretty rusted. Yesterday I soaked them. Then I worked them in and out, the usual, you know, you work it out a little, back in, out a little, back in. And I was able to get them out without breaking. Whereas if you would have tried just turning them out, they would have snapped off, and I've seen it. Patience. I'm so hoping this fixes this problem with the startups. It's one of the possible things it can be, because it's definitely not firing. It's acting like kind of like a bad module where the transistor starts to fail. Sometimes transistors will act funny. They'll work and they won't work. They'll be right on that edge of being broke. It's kind of hard to understand because they're actually just made out of silicon, but I guess they can get burned out internally without you seeing it. I remember a guy telling me one time that all electrical components have smoke built into them. All you got to do is let it out. And I didn't understand what he meant at first, and then the guy explained it to me. He's like, if you hook like something up backwards, it'll smoke and burn out. That's what he means. So you want to be careful how, you don't want to make sure that the ground wire is actually the ground and the hot's actually the hot, obviously. When you're working on older European cars, I seem to remember that the grounds were white and the power was black on some of the wiring harnesses. Then there were some wiring harnesses, all the wires were the same color, but they had like paper tags with numbers on them. Different manufacturers, different. So we got it plugged in. Just gonna take and just be sure it's good and snug. I was up at 4 this morning, so instead of sitting on my butt looking at the computer, I came out early, got started. It's not even 7 o'clock yet, but I'm in the garage. I ain't bothering nobody. So let's go give it a crank, see what it does. What in the hell? Just for the hell of it, I'm going to plug the old one back in. I better not have got a bad new part. Don't tell me I got a bad new part. Try this again. It might be that it just didn't fit. Oh, you know what? I'm so stupid. I changed the fuel filter, and I haven't ran it since so it had to. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Let's see if I'm wrong or right. Stinky. Open the doors. So I had drained the fuel filter and put it back on, and I hadn't ran it since. So it was cranking and it was because the filter was filling. So it did start, but I don't know. I won't know that it's fixed until I take it out, take it for a ride. So I made this little stand for my, you can see how cloudy it is. We got rain coming in. Made this little stand to hold my camper shell when I'm not using it. Now I got the added on those aluminum pipes so that so everything looks pretty good. As far as the greenhouse, so I got all that wood painted up. I've got all the wood I need now to put the plastic on. It's kind of calm this morning. I might drag it out and cut it. But I got all the gray wood ready, and that's going to hold the plastic on. I'll just tack it up temporarily, staple a few staples, and then I run through, the screws through this. I got some gray deck screws. They're painted. Not gonna rust. You see what's going on here, Rusty, Rhode Island? I made this little thing yesterday. This little burner right here. I was just fooling around. I wanted to make me a little place so I could sit outside and have a fire and have a little heat. Me and Connie, instead of having a big pit fire. I'm going to do a little more work on it. It's basically a propane bottle. I had it burning yesterday, burned all the paint off it. And basically I can throw twigs and sticks in there, which I've got plenty of over there, and we can sit outside and enjoy the night. Have a little fire going. Something me and Connie enjoy. When it warms up, we're fair weather enthusiasts. See what's going on here, guys. Whew. Gonna wait a little while before I wake the neighbors up with this thunderbox, but see what's going on. Bye from Rest of Rhode Island. Weekend's coming. Enjoy your Friday. See you on Bad Chad.